Imagine being 14 years old, dressed in finery your family saved for years to buy. Your mother tucks flowers into your hair, hands shaking. Your father watches like a man witnessing a contract. Everyone calls this a blessing. No one explains why the older women refuse to meet your eyes. Before sunset, a stranger will decide what your body is worth. The temple gates gleam. The ziggurat rises like a ladder carved into the sky. It smells of incense, barley, and smoke. Priests move like shadows. A priest places a rope crown in your hands. Another writes your name on clay. On the altar rests a single silver coin. In minutes, you'll understand. This ritual has nothing to do with devotion and everything to do with ownership. This was Babylon. Her name is Beltani. At the threshold of Ishtar's temple, they hand her a thin, braided cord, a crown for the holy. It tightens rather than glows. She smiles because she must. She is offered barley cakes and sweet beer. She bows. She learns the hymns. The Greek Herodotus described it. Women seated rope crowns tight, men choosing as they passed. Scholars argue, the tablets do not. They list names. Payments, silver, grain, they were written to count. This is where sacred becomes transactional. Beltani learns the business. Training, music, dance, perfume, the art of the inviting glance. A woman named Iltani shows her how to apply oils. A scribe marks her name. Cadistu, he murmurs, holy woman, consecrated one, a title and a trap. The priests explain, to please Ishtar is to please the city. To please the city secures harvests and trade. The logic is tidy. The consequences are not. The Cadistu are priestesses. They memorize hymns, read sacred script, wear clean linen. The law protects them, property, wages, standing. On paper, she belongs to no man. In life, she belongs to the temple. For a moment, Beltani hopes for protection, a path upward. That hope dies quickly. Paper is only part. The tablets avoid the rest. At night, the inner court changes. Men enter, merchants, soldiers, travelers, they pay. Priests guide them behind curtains where the Cadistu wait. Coins change hands. Names are recorded. Portions for sacrifice, the rest feeds temple stores. Devotion becomes routine. Beltani watches an older woman leave, practiced, a coin in her palm, her gaze settling nowhere. No one shames her. The city respects her service, yet her life has narrowed. She will not marry. She will not raise a family. Her future was shaped without a spoken word. Some call it a position. Others, survival. Beltani calls it order. Bells wake her. Rations decide her meals. Priests' words decide her service. No one threatens her. Nothing belongs to her. A woman who cannot leave is not staying by choice. Lying on her mat, she thinks of her mother's hands, the smell of wet barley. She wonders how long perfume hides exhaustion. The tablets offer no answer. They simply stop recording names. Then the annual ritual, the sacred marriage of the New Year festival meant to secure the city's future. Dressed in hymns, spoken of as divine union. Inside, it feels like proof. Proof the goddess's favor has been purchased again. The temple does not accept refusal. Beltani lifts the rope crown. The court doors close, chants rise, the air tightens, a priest murmurs. Incense fills her lungs. A coin waits unseen. A rope path marks where she must sit. A man will choose. The curtain trembles. Beltani understands the choice was made long ago. The fabric parts. A stranger enters. The crown digs into her palms. The priests call it sacred. The older women know better. Once it touches your hair, the temple claims you. Footsteps scraping sandals. The man is ordinary, following custom. He hesitates. The silver falls into her lap, a soft clink. The priest exhales. The scribe marks clay. The coin need not be large. It only must be given. And so it cannot be refused. Tradition says she must rise. Here, tradition is law. The priest gestures. The stranger walks ahead. Beltani's knees shake, but her feet obey. The path is decided. The chamber is narrow, painted walls glowing. Incense hangs thick, sweet, suffocating. Bells chime at the threshold, meant to summon the goddess, sounding instead like a signal. No one speaks. The silence is deliberate. The system relies not on cruelty, but on age, repetition, and the confidence that no one will interrupt what has always been done. Beltani steps inside. The curtain falls. Babylon continues without her. Time passes. Temple life settles into a rhythm without questions. Morning hymns, oil baths, lessons. Inside, they are sacred. Outside, spoken of in low voices. They move between reverence and use, belonging to neither world. "The temple owns us," a woman whispers. Ishtar only signs off, another replies. One night, Beltani sits with Beltani under the moon. "You understand now," she says. Beltani nods. "Do you still think we are priestesses?" "What else?" "Necessary," Beltani says, a tired smile. "Necessary to the temple, necessary to men who come and leave lighter, necessary enough to keep, never enough to release." Seasons turn. Beltani recognizes footsteps, knows which merchants bring wine, which bring impatience. She knows the sound of coins striking bowls. An accountant tells her she brings good fortune. She looks past him to overflowing storerooms and understands. What weighs most is not the numbing ritual but the hours after, when incense thins and the city's noise returns. That is when the temple feels smallest, when the future disappears. No one speaks of later years. Names are recorded. Then one day they are not. Older women vanish. Mats are folded. Spaces filled. "Where do they go?" Beltani asks. "To the goddess," Beltani says. Her eyes disagree. The sacred marriage approaches again. This time, Beltani's name is called for preparation. A bowl of scented oil is placed in her hands. Her hair is arranged. The air feels heavier, the walls listening. "What must I do?" "What the goddess requires." The inner chamber is dim. Stone lions stare. A central platform, draped in cloth, stands reserved for the highest rites. Beltani's breath tightens. She recognizes danger in sacred language. Footsteps echo. Someone important approaches. She understands, whatever comes will shape her life through permanence. The high priestess stands, a symbol in white and gold, only a tremor in her hands betraying her. Beltani's task, anoint the sacred bed. She tips the bowl. Oil spreads, dark, reflective. The man, king or noble, enters. His presence charges the room. She feels his gaze, priests circle. A voice speaks, calm, final. "Tonight you serve the goddess in body and in symbol. The land depends on this. The city depends on this." A sentence so old it is unquestionable. A sentence refusing refusal. What happens next was never written. Only fragments of hymns survive, but everything shifts. The next morning, the high priestess embraces her with approval, not warmth. Priests nod. A scribe adds a mark by her name. Beltani looks at her with pity-edged recognition. "You have seen the heart of the temple, and the temple has seen you." No explanation is needed. Certain thresholds, once crossed, offer no return. Then one day her name is no longer called. No dismissal, no ceremony. The entries thin, then stop. This is how catastu disappear, not through violence but quiet erasure. Duties fulfilled, then nothing. The temple took what it required and moved on. This is how countless lives ended inside Ishtar's walls, not with drama, but with absence. Scholars argue because argument is safer than conclusion. The tablets do not argue. They show a system functioning smoothly, consuming women without noise. Payments recorded, roles assigned, bodies folded into law and ledger. Some women came willingly, others were given. A few gained status, most faded. Beltani lived in the middle, shaped by a system that elevated her just enough to be useful, then swallowed her whole. History does not preserve voices like hers. The temple recorded grain and silver, not fear, hope, or regret. The silence around her name speaks. She was never meant to be remembered, only counted. It tells us why later generations buried these rituals in metaphor and denial. Not because they were small, but because they revealed too much. The temple is gone, the ziggurat dust, the chant silenced. What did Beltani believe in the end? Did she still trust the goddess, hope for escape? Or did she learn to stop hopping? History will never answer. The tablets do not record longing. They record transactions. And that is how Beltani remains. A name pressed into clay. A life consumed by a system that called itself sacred. A reminder that even the brightest temples can cast the darkest shadows.